the same guy who guessed Jason and Lucia's last names before the GTA 6 trailer 2 even dropped just leaked a ton of new info. Like, so much that this might actually be the biggest GTA leak of 2025. No joke. And yeah, we had to break it all down into 40 points just to make sense of it for you. If this stuff turns out to be true, a bunch of the rumors floating around right now might actually be dead wrong. So yeah, you really gotta watch this video till the end. Alright, so there's a lot of confusion around where this leak came from and who GameRoll even is. Let me break it down for you in simple terms so everything's crystal clear. It might take a minute, so if you're just here for the actual leaks, feel free to skip ahead using the timestamps. But honestly, we recommend watching this part too, because a lot of GTA fans are super disappointed and throwing shade at GameRoll, and understanding the full story kinda matters. So if you're active in the GTA community on X, you've probably heard of GameRoll. He's not some insider from Rockstar or anything, he's just a dedicated fan who also works with GTA Base and GTA Focal. Now, here's what went down. Someone reached out to GameRoll claiming they knew a senior person at Rockstar. This senior person could be a friend or maybe even a family member of the guy who contacted GameRoll. The important part is, it's an indirect source. Like, it's not a Rockstar dev directly leaking info to GameRoll. Instead, this middle person allegedly gets the inside scoop from someone they know at Rockstar and passes it along to GameRoll. Back around March or April, when GameRoll started talking to this person, some pretty wild stuff came out. Like Jason and Lucia's last names, some background on the airport heist, and more stuff that we'll go into detail on later. At first, GameRoll didn't take it that seriously. He thought the guy was just making stuff up. So just for fun, he made a post on April 19th saying, "What if Jason and Lucia's last names were something like Jason Duvall and Lucia Caminos?" Because he thought those names sounded cool. But when GTA 6's trailer 2 and official info dropped on May 6th, that's when GameRoll realized this guy was actually telling the truth. His old tweet suddenly started going viral, and just for fun, he replied under it with, "Jason Schreier, watch this space, brother." You probably know Jason. He's a big name in the gaming world and has dropped some pretty accurate GTA 6 leaks before too. So after that, GameRoll went back to their source and found out even more stuff. But now the source started throwing out some kinda wild claims, like saying the game has over 700 stores, which, let's be real, sounds way too extra. GameRoll does trust their source, but he also made it clear that since the info is indirect, some things could totally end up being wrong. That's why everything we talk about in this video, you should take with a grain of salt. Anyway, last night he was just casually chatting about all this on Discord, but now that more people in the community are starting to think GameRoll's an actual insider, some of their messages got screenshot and started blowing up on Reddit and GTA forums. Obviously, that led to a bunch of people questioning how any of this could be real. GameRoll ended up getting pretty frustrated. Like, no one believes him, even though he's been super transparent about just sharing what he's been hearing from this indirect source. And yeah, even after getting the Jason and Lucia last names right, he had said multiple times that he is not an insider themselves. So now you've got the full picture on where these leaks are actually coming from. We'll drop the links to all the GTA forums threads and GameRoll's socials down in the description if you want to check them out for yourself. But yeah, without wasting any more time, let's go through all the leaks one by one. First up, he confirmed that most of our weapons will actually be stored in the car trunk, and the weapon wheel might be connected to the trunk system too. Like in RDR2, when you walk up to your horse, you get a separate inventory wheel. Same vibe here. But even GameRoll doesn't fully know how this will work yet. Apparently the weapon wheel has already been changed 3 times during development. Then he mentioned that while switching between Jason and Lucia is a thing, there will also be a third option where both of them show up together. So like, if you're just free roaming, you can use this third option to bring the other character along and just hang out. And during some missions, this option will let you play with both characters at once. They can even do mini-games together like golf and stuff. If this actually ends up in the final game, it's gonna be pretty sick. Then came the wild claim. There are over 700 stores in the game, which sounds insane, right? Even GameRoll said it might be that they're counting stuff like mall entrances or even tiny gumball machines as stores. He is not exactly sure. Also, these stores apparently can be robbed, which is kinda weird since we literally saw robberies happening in the trailers. Then there's a new character named Donnie, who's Jason's friend and also works for a guy named Brian. But according to GameRoll's source, Donnie's kind of a freak. And yeah, this could be the same dude we've seen in a couple of those official screenshots. Then his source said the reason Lucia's last name even got revealed was because in one of the early missions, she's actually in prison and calls Jason. That's when she uses her full name. So yeah, that pretty much confirms that Lucia starts the story off in prison, not somewhere in the middle like some people thought. Next up, there's supposed to be an airport heist where Lucia goes undercover with a gang of bodybuilders to get their help. But after a while, they find out she's betrayed them. That's why in trailer 2, we see a bodybuilder attacking her. And yeah, if you look closely, Lucia does seem to be wearing some kind of disguise in that scene. Then about those old rumors that GTA 6 would have a Disney World parody, like we even talked about in one of our videos over a year and a half ago. That's apparently not true. At least that's what GameRoll's source says. Remember the 2022 leaks that mentioned sex bots in the game? GameRoll said those probably got cut. Later, they added that their source isn't totally sure. They might still be in the game, but the world is so huge, maybe the source just hasn't seen them. Then there was a random encounter from the 2022 leaks, where some characters talk about Jane Norris. That part apparently got cut a long time ago. So right now, there's not a whole lot to do underwater, just some hidden treasures and secrets. But obviously, Rockstar could add way more stuff before launch. Then there's a mission where you actually hunt a shark using a spear gun. So yeah, spear guns are gonna be a real weapon in the game. In Vice City, there are a ton of tall buildings, and apparently you can actually use working elevators inside them. But for now, they only go up to the top floor and don't stop in between. So we'll see if that gets improved later. Also, GTA 6 is supposed to have more interiors than any open world game ever. There's a mission where cops turn on each other, but not much is known about it yet. The game's split into 5 chapters, but chapters 4 and 5 aren't finished yet. In fact, a huge chunk of chapter 5 got cut and is currently being reworked. Lucia's kid is real and shows up early in the game, but GameRoll's source hasn't played much past chapter 3, so they're not sure if the kid comes back later. Everything we've seen in the trailers so far happens between chapter 1 and 3. That scene where someone jumps from a bike into a car trunk, that's from chapter 3. That shot from trailer 2 where Jason walks out of a shop with a pack of beers, not a cutscene, that's real gameplay. And yeah, you'll actually be able to do stuff like that in-game. There are scenes in the game, but they're apparently PG-ish. Like the camera pans away before any nudity shows. But to be fair, the source hasn't seen all of them, so it's hard to say for sure. Social media seems like it'll be a big part of the game, but GameRoll's source says it's still pretty bare bones, and developers are working on it. There's also a greet and intimidate system, kinda like what we had in RDR2. Remember that rumor about using Airpods or earphones to listen to music while walking around? Right now, you can only do that while sitting in a car, but who knows? That might change before launch. Vice City is gonna be the biggest area on the map, and places like Ambrosia and Port Gellhorn are nowhere near its size, but they're still gonna be decently big on their own. The ankle monitor doesn't affect gameplay much, and Lucia apparently gets rid of it pretty early in the story. Going prone was supposed to be in the game, and we even saw it in the 2022 leaked clips. But yeah, that feature got cut. It might have just been for testing. Dual wielding was never planned, which kinda sucks, especially since RDR2 had it. You can buy pets in the game, but Jason does have a pet iguana that he can feed. The minimap or radar is still rectangular like GTA 5's, and waypoints show up in pink. There were rumors about the full map being shaped like a panhandle, but GameRoll says that's not true. Instead, it's gonna be more like GTA 5, where the whole map is just one big island. Jason's special ability is kinda like Deadeye. It slows time and shows weak points he can shoot at. Lucia's ability, though, isn't that great. She can only fire once in a slow motion. GameRoll's source thinks it sucks and hopes they improve it. As far as the source knows, there's no secret side map like Guarma in GTA 6. But again, they haven't played the whole game. They haven't seen any returning characters from previous GTA games. But to be fair, they haven't played the old games much either, so they might have missed them. NPCs actually react if you walk around with a gun out, so Jason and Lucia are gonna have to keep their weapons hidden in public. Yep, male strippers are gonna be in the game. One of the screenshots even hinted at it. I mean, it makes sense. Lucia is not gonna let the guys have all the fun. And no surprise here, the 6-star wanted level system is coming back. The dynamic cover system from the 2022 2022 leaks looked kind of like what we had in Last of Us 2, but it didn't feel right. So they scrapped it and replaced it with something much better. Back in the 2022 leaks, there was something called a relationship bar mentioned. It basically shows how your bond is with a certain character, depending on how you treat them. According to GameRoll, that bar is still in the game, and it works kinda like the honor system from RDR2. Then there's the whole weight mechanics thing. Yeah, turns out that's actually real. Let's see how it plays out in the final game. GameRoll also claims that the driving in this game is gonna be the best yet, and honestly, we're hyped. If it ends up being a mix between GTA 4 and GTA 5's driving, that could be super solid. Let us know what kind of driving you'd want in the game. And finally, Dismemberment and Gore are making a comeback in GTA 6. You probably remember how in old GTA games like Vice City and San Andreas, you could literally blow people's heads off, but in GTA 5, that wasn't really a thing. Now, according to the leaks, we're getting that RDR2 level Dismemberment again, which sounds pretty wild. So yeah, that's everything GameRoll found out and shared. How much of it actually turns out to be true? We'll have to wait for the full game to find out. But what do you think? Want to know why GTA 6 isn't launching on PC? Then click the video on screen right now. If you like this one, hit like, subscribe to GTA Gossip, ring that bell, and we'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace out.